startups, opportunities in real estate, opportunities in special category funds, VC funds, and hedge funds also. These opportunities are available to our members on the LIO app. Two deeper M2M connects. Each of our members brings their own expertise and experience. So when those worlds meet together, something remarkable can come out of it. So we have quite a few examples of how our member-to-member connects help ideas convert into reality. 3, support team in your business. We act as your extended team. LIO will listen to you, and anywhere you need it, we are there. Community experiences. As many of you would have known, our founder is a big fan of cricket. So we organize cricketing events, badminton nights, movie nights, sip and paints, and many more. And that's what makes LIO truly special. Because it's just not any other network. It's a living, thriving community with its members' agenda at its core. I would like to specially thank our sponsors, Chief Sponsor New Artscape, Olive Sweets, and Island of Blooms, and our partners Cloud Tailor, 8Views, FNF, Helios, Enlight, Terrai, and Soul Forest. Now, before we get on with the proceedings, I would like to introduce a very special person to all of you. He's someone who believes that, you can do good and make money. This is a quite unique concept when I first heard it. So I'm really excited to listening from him. I would now like to request Mr. Satya Rao Garu to come onto the stage and address the gathering.
Thank you. No, that's it. I don't need it. Thank you all. Thank you, Monish. It's wonderful. It just feels like getting to meet some of the friends quite serendipitously. I bumped into a few of them already, and it's a very nice feeling to actually be amidst you all. Before I talk about other things, mighty gratitude to Monish Garu and team for making this community a lot more meaningful.
All right, so we'd just like to start with a short story, because we all love stories. So there was once a wise king who had 2 daughters. The elder daughter's name was Trishna. Because he was a wise king, the names had a meaning. Does anybody know the meaning of Trishna? Trishna means desire, longing, eternal wanting. The younger daughter was named Trupti. This must be an easy one, right? Yeah, what's Trupti? Satisfaction, fulfillment, peace. It's a gentle satisfaction that follows when one's thirst is truly quenched. Glittering innovations. After all, that is what Trishna is all about. People ran faster. They built higher than this, and wanted more. And soon, the rivers ran dry. The air became less breathable. Soil cracked, and even the laughter looked like theater. But then, Trupti was sent. Soon, she started plants. They became trees. Those trees became forests. People sat by the lake. Stories flew. Birds came. People started breathing more easily. The soil softened, but without Trishna, there were no new ideas, no ambition. The kingdom would have been content, but too content. So the king was torn. Is my elder daughter Trishna right? Or is my younger daughter Trupti right? So one day, he called both of them and said, alone you bring imbalance. Together, you bring life. And my friends, that is the story of Soul Forest. Soul Forest was born when Trishna and Trupti finally met, where ambition shakes hands with fulfillment, where capital and conscience are built together. It's not a company. It's not just a company of building trees or building resorts. No, it's not that. It's not about just charity. It is really about creating a movement of nature economic zones. I find it fascinating to actually bring these two words into one phrase, nature and economic zone. We are sitting, in a space where special economic zones are a lot more familiar and at a stone's throw. And to talk about nature economic zones takes some audacity, takes some rethinking of priorities. So it's a movement where living, breathing spaces, economy grows from ecology. So the model is built on this 80-20 principle. How can we reimagine the way we look at development, where 80% of a space is ecologically pristine, and in 20% we build business? Because again, going back, we need Trishna and Trupti. So we need economic zones which are thriving, but we also need Trupti. It's not an option. It's not either or. It is and. So here, a couple of hours from where we are sitting, we started our first pilot. A pilot to build a nature economic zone. It's an audacious dream to reimagine how our interaction with capitalism is. Just for clarity, I studied finance. I was with PricewaterhouseCoopers. So, our days began and ended with Excel sheets and making sure that IRR number was optimized, what all cells can be tweaked, seen that, been there, and then also realized how shallow and how meaningless sometimes an optimization of an Excel sheet without optimization of what meaning is could potentially take us. So friends, Soul Forest is a movement where we think of bringing together nature capitalists who actually think about capital very differently, a lot more holistically. I would call it as selfish altruism. Again, bringing them together is an oxymoron when I say selfish altruism, because reviving nature is not for nature's sake. Nature went through enough shit and it knows how to come back. But this is selfish altruism because soil, water, biodiversity, all these are foundations for our life, and bringing nature back is in our own utmost selfish interest. Prior to starting Soul Forest a couple of years ago, I founded with a few of my friends, Keti. That's when some of my friends, including Srini, were a part of our journey. We started out of the hub. The idea was to find solutions which can be transformational for smallholder farmers, which went on to win the Earthshot Prize, which is one of the globally renowned awards for climate action. The important thing for me is there is no dearth of capital in the world. There is only dearth of imagination. There is only dearth of action. So can the right intent be coupled with right action consistently, so that things which today seem like oxymorons, like nature, economic zone, Trishna and Trupti, or things like selfish altruism, we no longer should get so surprised to place them together, because it's in our own utmost selfish interest that we have to bring them together and reimagine a future for our children and generations to come where we shouldn't buy air. 30 years ago, buying water would have definitely been something that people would have laughed at. and we normalized it beyond imagination. Restaurants serving water in copper glasses suddenly started placing bottles in Hyderabad. We all know the names. So suddenly, before we realize, we might end up buying air. We might end up buying things which are beyond our imagination. And we can reverse that. The good news is that we can reverse that. First of all, if we choose to learn, if we choose to act, and Soul Forest is a movement. And I heartily invite each and every one of you here into that movement to rethink our relationship with nature, which potentially can be extremely, which will potentially be one of the most selfish choices you ever made for yourself. Right? Thank you very much. And before I sign off, I would just feel I'm happy to share that my learnings over the past 15 years to understand nature, I tried putting together for my children who are about 11 and 9. How can we bring the story of planet right from its inception to today in such a way that all of us can learn? A lot of times, adults find it difficult to say that we will be schooled. That is why I said, it's a story for children, and it is meant to be read between two generations, where in that way we also get to read exactly how the earth began, how the life on earth began, how did plants come, how did animals come, and how did we come to this point. And Penguin published it. This book is going to be released tomorrow, but a pre-launch copy of this, it's called Soul Forest, and the children who heard the Earth's secrets. Happy to present a pre-launch copy of this to our dear friend Monish.
Each and every one of you, thank you so much for coming, and I just want to take maybe 15 minutes of your time, and I'm going to speak from my heart today. A very good evening, everyone. Looking at all of you, my LIO family, I'm becoming a tad bit nostalgic. So let me talk to you about the origin of Leaders for India organization. I first conceptualized the idea in 2013. This was 12 years back. I just finished my first year of college at Purdue, and I was sitting with Milan, my close friend and my senior from college. At that time, we called it the Hyderabad Fight Club. The idea was to create a platform that can bring business owners together, where they can explore synergies, leverage on their strengths, eliminate their weaknesses, and grow collectively. Then, post multiple different forms, names, iterations, I took a lot of advice from Raj Uncle, from Niranjan, from Charan, from Shivendra, Praveen, many well-wishers. There were a lot of ups and downs. The journey was not easy. We finally unveiled Leaders for India organization to all of you in the summer of 2022. There was a very specific reason why we picked the lion as our logo. We all knew that our members were stalwarts of industry. They were at the top of their game, and they were always looking to expand and conquer new areas, which is why we added the crown. We chose the lion's mane to have a few white hairs because we wanted to get members without an age limit. We have members from 21 years old all the way through 65 and over. Members who have a great range of experience. Placing brick after brick for over 1200 days, we've built a massive fort today. The massive fort is based on human capital. I believe that human capital is the most important form of capital in the world. A fort that is built on the support and on the faith of 150 industry leaders who have trusted me, who've put their faith in me. Combined, we have invested a total of 62.34 crore rupees into 26 diverse business opportunities, everything facilitated through LIO. Some of the youngsters can go up and sit also, it's just if it's getting a little too stuffy here. More importantly, we've done 9 follow-on investments to the already invested 26 companies. So that shows that we back our companies where we've already invested into. Another very interesting point is, till date, we don't have a single write-off. To achieve this, our LIO team has evaluated over 850 opportunities, bringing the investment ratio just to 3%. There are 3 core values of LIO. I want to expand on them a little. The first one is integrity. All LIO members get the same deal at the same valuation. Whether it is you, whether it is me, it is the same for everyone. The second one is trust. We follow strict confidentiality whenever members share any information with us, because we know that it is their financial information. It is very sensitive, and we will make sure that that information is not shared, and the members also understand that when they share this information with us, we are able to safeguard it, and as long as they are honest with us, that's when we can maximize their opportunities as well. The third is transparency. All of our milestones we will always share publicly, and this will help build our credibility, and we also believe in a model of complete openness. This is the LIO promise. Next. So I'll just quickly take you through the member geography of the total of 150 members. We currently have 117 members from India. Out of them, of course, from Hyderabad, we have 104. We have 13 members from Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Warangal, Guntur, Vijayawada. And we also have 33 NRIs who have joined us on this journey. And we have become the active feet for them on the ground, giving them access to niche investment opportunities. Next one. So this is a snapshot of all the investments that we have made till date, and the code name for LIO that we use internally is Lands, Investments and Opportunities. To talk to you a little bit about our focus split, we focus for about 30% into startups, about 35% of our investments are focused on VCs and hedge funds. The last 35% of our focus is on special category investments, which includes niche NCLT deals, pre-IPO opportunities, structured debt opportunities. We've also have done real estate opportunities are there. We've done tier 2 real estate, we've sold luxury villas, and we even co-produced a full-length Telugu feature film. I said that we have 0 write-offs till date. Let me just expand on that a little bit. I strongly believe that investing is a science. And whenever we get an opportunity, we have a detailed investment criteria that checks over 20 business parameters, and we present it with a LIO score. We have a 3-step evaluation process. The first one, it reaches our analysts. The analysts use the financial tools available to them, score the internet, get all the information about the company, about the founder, the last round raised, and what the exit strategy is going to be. They align it with our investment thesis, and we check for companies which have a 2 crore ARR, if they have a path to profitability, and what the founding team's background is. 90% of our opportunities are filtered here. Next, we move to an investment committee, which has 6 people. We have a Forbes 30 under 30. We have an accounting genius. We have the former South India head for ADP hiring. He's currently with Goldman Sachs. We have an IIT IIM who scaled White Hat Junior from a 40 crore company all the way to a 2,400 crore exit. We have a Bangalore-based founder, and the 6th person on this list is me. None of us have a veto option. This maintains the authenticity of the process, and each opportunity is looked at on its own merit. The last step of our evaluation process is where the real magic, the real essence of LIO kicks in. We take 1 hour of our members' time whenever required, and we send them the startups or business opportunities in their area of expertise. If they approve of the opportunity, we first ask them, if you're the anchor investor, can you lead this round? Why will you invest in this company, or why not? Why don't you invest in this company? With such a detailed and thorough analysis, this is the reason why we have 0 write-offs till date, and we're able to invest with a lot of confidence and follow a detailed process for each and every investment. For the last 3 months, we've had our best quarter yet. We've done 10.28 crores of investments from a total of 18 investors. Out of those, 12 are NRI investors who've invested into an edtech company called XCD. XCD also happens to be the first gift city IPO out of India. So the bare minimum that we target is a 20% IRR, and it also depends on each deal and how members get into each opportunity. But I have some good news to share with everyone as well. I'm going to talk about the best investment our members have made till date. It's called Big Bang Boom Solutions. And I just had a phone call with the CEO yesterday, and he has given me the approval to share with all of you that they have received a term sheet, a signed term sheet at a $500 million valuation, which is 4,500 crores. This pegs, thank you so much, thank you. I think now you need to clap because I want to say that Leo's investors are sitting on a 24x in 3 years. I think now everyone can. So I think this is a very interesting slide. I know most of you who know me know that I'm big into cars. So the Jain trade community recently unleashed their full power. And what they have done is they've purchased 186 high-end luxury cars, negotiated with 15 dealers from Audi, from BMW and from Mercedes, and they saved an average of 8 to 17 lakhs for each of their member, bringing their total savings to 21.54 crores. So this is something that we want to do as well. So we've just put a snapshot of all the brands, of all the member-owned brands that we could find, and these people have graciously agreed to unlock the full potential of the Leo community. They will be giving certain benefits to the other Leo members. I want to use this podium to encourage anyone who has a product or a service, please help us amplify them for you and share it with the rest of the community. Since each Leo member employs or has at least 100 people in their sphere of influence, this will be a complete win-win scenario. Next. So I'll just quickly walk through the road ahead. So the first one, as I said, there'll be a lot of focus on unlocking the complete power of the community. Next, we plan to have such events. Now that we've hit a certain critical mass, we plan to have such events once every 6 months, where members can showcase their existing brands. We can also call in some business opportunities, listen to them. And we want to have theme-driven flagship events. For today, the theme is the VC landscape in India. And maybe next time we can do something in education technology, in defense, or in real estate. But the commitment is to do one every 6 months going forward. And to speak about the membership framework, a big thank you to everyone that has been a part of Leo's journey. And to keep the club exclusive and to maintain the high quality of memberships, essentially going forward, for everyone who are already part of the community, welcome to the family, you're in, no problem to you. Going forward, starting November 3rd, we will be doubling our membership amount. So right now we charge 30,000 a year, so we'll be charging 60,000 a year. And going forward, we'll have only one membership tier. We'll no longer have a 10-year membership. We will only have a 5-year membership, which will cost 3 lakhs. And all the people who've joined 100 to 150, thank you so much. The time now starts from 151 to 200. And next is, we also plan on conducting Leo events, Leo travel cohorts, and we're also trying to piece together a Leo women entrepreneurship cohort, and we'll be sharing more details with you shortly. We have received a lot of praise, a lot of commitment and support from our NRI community, and Leo becomes their bridge to give them access to niche investment opportunities in India. So we are going to continue to expand globally as well. As a membership preference, we have always been a WhatsApp first community. I think all of you can reach out to us on phone or on WhatsApp. However, we worked very, very hard to develop a Leo mobile application, and it provides us with a dynamic snapshot of all the names, occupation of the members, their member IDs, and it also shows them the different open investment opportunities at that time. I encourage all of you to please download it on Android and App Store and give us your honest feedback on it. Thank you all once again for enabling me to become an ecosystem builder and for making Leo the trusted partner in your wealth creation journey. Let us all invest innovate and impact together. Thank you so much. So now it is my great pleasure to welcome a very genuine well-wisher of mine. He is a true Hyderabad-based entrepreneur who builds companies for the world. And he was the first person in Hyderabad that I know of who's been talking about building a startup ecosystem here in Hyderabad himself. He's always motivated me to push my limits. He also been and is my neighbor. He's always given me his most important resource, which is his time over the last 1 decade. There were many days where I spent whole afternoons and whole evenings at his office, keenly observing multi-million-dollar deals being closed, watching him give TV interviews. I joined in while VCs and wealth managers were pitching to him. I don't know if you remember this, Santu, we were in San Francisco when you were hiring your global C-level team as well. I was in the same room that time. I saw him close actor and endorsement deals. And we not only watched cricket at his office, but we also played cricket at his office. He was ready to sign a check for LIO on day 0 when I just told him that this is the concept that I'm going to work on. But I told him that maybe that's not the right time to take in the check. But I feel that that time is today, and I would like to welcome our guest of honor, Dr. Narayanam, to the podium, the founder of the soon-to-be unicorn Zaggle. So Raj sir, we're so delighted to share that you're also our 150th member, and we're conferring you with LIO 018. So thank you so much, and just 1 second, yes.
He's so tall. Whenever I just stand next to him, I feel taller. That's how I would say. So, here I can see a lot of my friends out there. Some of the, fantastic ecosystem builders. We have Srini here, and Srini has started a fund called Biome. I'm sure a lot of you, would have heard about it. One of the greatest venture studio thought processes I have seen. Very happy to be an anchor investor with him, and I for a fact know the process he's taking to onboard the companies is phenomenal. Zaggle would have probably, or Yantra would have gone ahead and said okay to those investments, but to pass through Srini is very, very tough. So we for a fact know that now Hyderabad is getting built. So I've been in Hyderabad for about 25 years. I'm a native Telugu guy, but was brought up in Delhi, and came to Hyderabad from New York and wanted to do business. And my special friend here, Vish, as we call, difficult for me to pronounce Vishesh Rajaram, but Vish is how we know, very, very dear friend, my second investor, who invested in my company called Yantra in 2008. Similarly, we have Uttam Patel here, one of the leading chartered accountants, and also has been an ecosystem builder. So what I see, in Hyderabad, and what I think, we should really do here is that we need 2 or 3 tricks of the trade. Okay, which once they happen, the ecosystem will very, very quickly start, pumping up. What we need is the entrepreneurs to have high mental capacity than financial capacity. If they are mentally stronger, we are going to win the race. If we have a product mindset, we are going to win the race. Talent attracts talent. So the third thing is, if talent comes into the city, as we are seeing that it is coming, more and more talent will attract, bigger talent. A lot of companies from Hyderabad have gone IPO, and some of them have been very, very successful, and it's a whole list of companies who are planning to go public. All this is new to Hyderabad. Earlier you either had to be an infrastructure company or a pharma company to go public. Today you see all kinds of companies, from Hyderabad who are going public. What does that tell you about Hyderabad? Some would say that is it coming of age? Now, Hyderabad has been long distant cousin of Bangalore. But what's so different in Bangalore, okay, which Hyderabad does not have? There's like a couple of unicorns we get here, 4 or 5 unicorns, maybe 6, 7 unicorns. Then, we will attract some of the venture funds to come in. Maybe we can request Vish to come in and, move that, his venture fund from Bangalore and Chennai to, Hyderabad. And like that, I think there are, it just needs a little bit of kick. Somebody has to light the fire, and what we see is that a lot of them are now lighting the fire. So with that, what I see and what Monish has done is phenomenal. The kind of investment which he has spread across multiple companies, across multiple sectors, verticals, industries. This is a fantastic thing, because we had like all guys who are specialized in one. I also saw Zeropearl. Zeropearl is again a fantastic fund, with great experience. Bipin, super, latest, extremely superior, mental toughness and prowess is what I would say. So great set of people, coming to Hyderabad. And once they come in and stay here, talent will attract talent, and once talent attracts talent, the speed would start gaining more traction. My all the best to all you guys here. I don't know if you're entrepreneurs. I can recognize some of my friends, but rest of you, I'm hoping you are investors, entrepreneurs, and wishing you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Raj Uncle, and I'm very happy to know that you have an association with all the 3 panelists for today. And without further ado, I welcome Sriram Papu to come onto the stage to put this event together for me. And he will be also Sriram and I were introduced at the Zaggle office as well. So thank you for making that connection, Uncle. I think that is the spark that you light and then things sort of happen after. I'll just hand it over to Sriram to invite the rest of the panelists onto the stage and then start a very insightful discussion.
Srini, Bipin, Vishesh, come. No formalities, come. So I first met Srini, I've worked with him, I worked under him as an intern first for the T-Hub first project. And I've seen it from the vision to how we executed it, meeting 3 different universities, collaborating with the government and getting it done. And if T-Hub exists, he played a pivotal role, and he put Hyderabad on the startup ecosystem map. And I really thank you for it. Srini now runs Biome, a venture studio. Let's start off to understand what a venture studio model is, and then slowly we'll move on to the other panelists. Srini, all to you.
Hi, glad to be here. There's lots of familiar faces, lots of friends in the audience. First of all, I think I want to thank everyone for being here. I was told that the idea is that you guys are looking to work with the startup ecosystem. As you mentioned, Sriram, this has been a long journey. When we started T-Hub, 10 years ago now, Hyderabad was not on the startup map at all. In fact, startups didn't really exist, right? And the idea was just, as entrepreneurs, and everybody in this room, I think, has either been an entrepreneur or is close to entrepreneurship, right? It's a difficult journey. There are many things that you do along the way that make or break a company. Where India is today versus where it was 10 years ago is very, very different. We have corporates wanting to engage, we have investors wanting to put in money earlier and earlier, as well as later and later. And both of those things are required. And oftentimes, less than optimal decisions are made for reasons of capital, knowledge, talent. The venture studio model basically is a model that is meant to bridge those gaps in the earliest days, before being ready for VCs like these gentlemen next to me. Essentially what we are, and I'm going to use a bunch of terms that I'm sure you'll have questions about, and we can address those in the question and answers, but essentially what we are is we are an institutional co-founder that creates, builds, and scales very few startups, and we're very, very hands-on. We're not advisors, we're not consultants, we're not service providers. We co-found companies. And we do that with an incredible team that spans research, design, product, tech, GTM, and underpin it with governance, financial discipline, and all of the things required. Our tagline is from idea to enterprise. It's not just about building a startup, it's how do you go on to build something at scale that changes the world. So in a nutshell, that's who we are.
How are you going to do it? Keeping in mind next door, you need to transfer money within 10 days. Keeping Bipin in mind that he will transfer money within 10 days of meeting the entrepreneur and leaving everything to the founder, how do you expect the flow to come to you?
So, good question. Couple of things, right? I'll start with the fact that entrepreneurs can definitely go out and build something on their own. You know, you wouldn't be an entrepreneur if you didn't have some confidence in your ability to build. But what we find is that more mature founders realize how difficult it is to build a company, and capital is definitely required, but oftentimes so is a whole bunch of other stuff. One of the most common complaints, look, there's process and frameworks and talent that we supply. But we actually do something fairly unglamorous as well for a founder, which is just take a whole bunch of stuff off their plate. There's a joke among founders, right, that you are the CEO, but you're also the T-boy. You have to do everything, but that doesn't take advantage of your skill set. What we do is, after we get conviction, right, and we'll talk about that process of even us deciding to work with somebody, it's a two-way street. They have to want to work with us, we have to want to work with them. But essentially, we will take off all the stuff they don't want to do, are not very good at, and possibly we will be much better at. For example, finance, accounting, legal, all of that stuff, talent acquisition. Hiring great people in a startup is not easy. Our tagline, like I said, idea to enterprise, means that we put in all of that stuff in the beginning, take all that off the table so they focus on what's critical. Plus, because of my strength having built T-Hub and my experience being an entrepreneur, my co-founder being the ex-managing director at D.E. Shaw, the hedge fund, we can open doors. Look, at the end of the day, again, startups require two things basically: capital, customers. We put in enough capital to get them to the stage where, a Zeropearl or a Speciale Invest would want to invest. That capital we provide in the beginning, but we're building those foundations first.
So expertise is your moat, money is secondary.
Absolutely.
Co-creation.
In fact, one of the things that we tell, so again, our criteria for investment is actually probably more rigorous than even LIO, where you said 3%, right? Of course, we have people like Raj who back us immediately because they've seen what we've done and put in a check immediately, but most people don't do that. We have gone through over 250 ideas and founders to find the two companies we're working on right now. We're very, very particular about that.
Thank you. Round of applause. Bipin and I were colleagues. Yeah. So I'm reiterating, Bipin and I were colleagues and we know each other for almost 14 years. Very successful venture capitalist, ran Titan Capital, started it, founded it, along with Snapdeal founders. And Mama Earth is one of his successful companies, and many more, which he is going to tell. So, all to you, Bipin, and also tell us why no pitch deck, and why would you transfer money in 7 days, I'm assuming?
Yeah, thanks for inviting me. So I will keep it very short. So not like 7-day filing, it is not technically possible. So in pre-seed, so they take generally 6 weeks in deciding. But in pre-seed, you don't have too many things to, calibrate. It's just founder, an idea, and a little bit of POCs, design partners. So what we are innovating, we are giving you decision within 10 working days from the day you have applied on our website. And I myself check that application every day morning. So very few VCs check the application form on their website. You will have their analyst checking it, then analyst filtration goes to principal, and then the partner checks. So our model is this, that I check it and then I allocate it to analyst after I have liked the application. So that helps us in deciding very fast. So generally we give our decision in 5 to 10 working days from the day of application, and then it takes 1 month more in wiring. So that is what we are innovating. So I was running Titan Capital for 10 years. It is prop capital, sort of friends office of Snapdeal founders. Now that has also structured into a micro VC fund, but I joined them in 2015, Mr. Kunal Bahal, and I did some 250 investments there. I was there for 10 years, and there I had sourced and did deals which went really big, are like Mamaearth. We entered at seed round 3 million valuation, and we exited at some 15,000 crore after IPO. And the second win in AI and SaaS is CredGenX, which we entered at 1.5 million valuation and exited at some 500 million valuation. Then other is InVideo, which is video making app. So those are the big wins. And then I eventually started my own solo GP fund, which Raj sir and Monish supported from Hyderabad.
Bipin, why solo GP? Why are you the only person running the fund?
So it's just for namesake solo GP. I have a very smart team member like Jitin also sitting here, who takes care of all things finance. We are 5-member team, but at partner level I am alone. So what I realized working with Kunal Bahal and Rohit Bansal at Snapdeal Founders Money I was managing. So beyond a point, you develop your own instinct, and it's very difficult to even convince gods, okay, why you should invest in some founder having just some idea, no revenue, no market, they have to prove everything. It's very difficult to explain. And few deals I ended up losing, which I had sourced, and I tried convincing my IC like Jepto, Mokobara.
IC is investment committee.
Yeah, investment committee. So then that calling started coming that I need to go more pre-seed. I was both seed and pre-seed last 10 years at Titan. So now I have gone further one level behind, which is like pure pre-seed. Like when in first year of a company starting up, we have to invest. So difference between Srini business and my business, like he is also involved in team formation, founding team formation. I am not involved in founding team formation. Founding team need to be completed. That marriage need to happen between founders. Okay, so business marriage basically. So once that is done, then only I come in. That's a very important. If a team applies and they're still doing job somewhere and they are telling कि funding हो जाएगा तो फिर हम job छोड़ेंगे फिर start करेंगे, so it's a big no for me. So I don't invest in those half invested people. So once the team is formed, but just some idea they have, and I'm pretty like one company named Stable Money, which is now just recently they raised their Series C from Peak XV. Like when they left Navi, he was head of one of the Navi mutual fund business, and when he was leaving, I was already knowing him because I was invested in his previous company in 2015 time. He was doing some veggies business, farm to fork model, and that didn't work out, and we lost all our money. But the guy was very good, and in fact he returned those days 30% of his capital.
Bipin,
but
we'll get to that story.
Okay, cool. Sorry.
Don't mind. I know you have a lot to say. Yeah. Moving on. So Srini is a venture studio. He's a co-creator, equal co-founder. On the other side, you have Bipin. Pre-seed, fast check, and instant decisions. And that's Bipin for you.
And we are also sector agnostic.
Right.
He is deep tech.
Right. Yes, he's deep tech. Yes. Passing it on.
This works, yeah.
Vishesh, I hope your mic works.
I think it does. Yeah.
Okay, great. Vishesh runs Speciale Invest. He funds rockets, satellites, drones, yes, and a lot of space tech companies. I'm a big fan of his portfolio companies, Agnikul, Galaxy, and another recent one where, right. So all to you, please help us understand what deep tech is and we'll start from there, and then we'll go on.
So I'll give you a quick background. I've been in venture now for the last 18 years. I think my first investment was with Mr. Raj. That was my first investment in venture capital, and clearly I've been successful. We've come a long way. I've been in venture for the last 18 years. For the first 10 years, India really didn't have any sector focus back then, so we did whatever made sense in that time. I think at the end of the 10-year journey, I started to reflect on really what motivated me, and I was very nervous about capital guzzling businesses. It's just my DNA more than anything else, and therefore gravitated more towards investing in companies that have deep tech moats. And tech moats that are coming because people are building things that don't exist, and they come from deep domain and understanding. And that's what gravitated towards doing more B2B, and deep tech was a word that didn't exist when we started, so we were just doing industrial B2B investing. And today we've come a long way and focus on just 4 big sectors: energy, health, manufacturing, and space. We're on our 3rd fund. We've been up and around for the last 8 years. We're a 9-member team. A co-founder of mine was a classmate of mine from business school. 2 of us and a bunch of other people.
Congrats on your new fund. Congrats on the recent exit. Okay, now let us know, how does a research project becomes a proper company? How do you identify it's a research-based project? When do you know this is the time to fund them?
Yes, I'll try and keep it simple. I think the 2 big things we're looking for is really what and why, right? What does the founder really know that most of us don't know, don't agree with, that allows him to build something non-linear? And the bigger question and the least spoken piece of it is just how hard entrepreneurship is. It's extremely painful. The odds are always against you. We speak a lot about success, but they're fewer and far in between. So big question is, why do you want to do this? You could happy hunky-dory be a professor, work somewhere else, work in Goldman, wherever you want to. But there be some big motivation for you to take on all this pain to go build a company. We spend a lot of our time on just these 2 questions. And that's where we try and build our conviction on, is this a team we're willing to lose alongside? And if the answer to that is yes, then it's a lot easier. It's easy to win alongside anybody. But are you okay to lose alongside somebody and still be happy? Which means you're working with somebody you think is giving the best they have at it, giving everything they have at it to build something very non-linear, very meaningful. Those are the kind of people we're looking for.
Got it. Thank you, and thank you for coming. And okay, we're going to start with you now. Sure.
I don't have a mic. I just wanted to point out something, right? 2 things. One is a fun one, which is that you invested in Raj. Raj became really successfully invested in me. We're going to create a bunch of companies that hopefully everyone else will invest in. So that's the circle of community, right? What differentiates this from everything else out there? There is no market, or very, very rarely, something that someone is doing that nobody else is doing. Right? There's always competition in that space. What makes this differentiated from everything else? And often it's the founder, it could be the IP, but it's a combination of those 2 things. So I think that's an important thing to say.
Thank you, Srini. So following up to what you just said, right? How much valuation or how much equity will I lose? Then how are we going to work together? You're going to instill a team of your own to work on the idea. Then what? How does it work?
So I think I would like to just go a little bit before that as well, which is how even do we choose our companies that we want to work with. Like I said, 250 to get to the 2 that we work with today, right? And it's a little of what we just said. It's assessing both the idea, how big is the potential for this, is it a growing space, but also what differentiates them from everything else that exists. And it's also the founder. Not just what they're good at, but what are they not good at, and how do we build that team around them, to your point, Bipin. How do we make sure that this founding team addresses all the key parts of the business? And then what we do is, once we've got conviction in that, and that's the broad piece, we actually go into the crafting phase on day 1. What's that early adopter strategy? What's that wedge that will get you in the door, get you quick traction that you can then build upon later? And so that's what we do during this period of time, because coming to your point, we ask equity for what we do. We are not just taking equity for the capital that we put in, we are taking co-founder equity for the work that we do. We have very, very senior folks across the board, right? And that's not an easy thing to build, it's not an easy thing to fund. So after we've done that and we've figured this out, they are now comfortable with us. To your point about you want to be able to lose with them, not just win with them, we've developed some comfort, some rapport. We know that we add value to them. They know we add value to us. We know they will stick to it even if the going gets tough. And believe me, the going will always get tough at some point. Then we get to the conversation about how much equity do we take. If it's at the idea stage, our range is typically 20 to 25% equity, which is a combination of capital. We play 3 roles.
I think founder market fit needed, where he is the founder of this venture studio, and if he is able to do it very successfully over first decade, because it takes generally 10 years for project to be out, it is going to be really big. And very few have been able to do this very well in India. One is K at growth story.
All right, thank you. I'm going to come back with a few more questions. Bipin, you man, tell me. You've been a fund manager for a while. Please enlighten us about your past in Titan Capital. What were the returns like, and what companies, and how much was invested? What are the exits like?
Yeah, it's just stop me when you are bored.
Sure, we will. I don't think we will be bored.
So I think we were very lucky, and we invested in some 65 companies, 55 companies in the cohort of 2015 to 20. Out of those 55, we had 15 exits, and I think that is मुझे लग रहा है कि that has been, hopefully not. He is LP in my new fund. Like golden time of my investing life, maybe, but I am trying to replicate that. So 15 exits, which is Beardo we sold to Marico, Mamaearth we sold to secondary growth investors, Ochiva we sold to HUL, Fine we sold to Reliance. So overall we invested 50 crore rupee and we exited 520 crore, which is more than 10 DPI. And some which we created in the pitch deck which I presented to Raj sir last year in my fund 1. That time the MOIC was 13. Now that 13 MOIC has gone to 16 because Jiva and Credgenics have doubled. So DPI is still 10, but MOIC has increased from 13 to 16.
Bipin, so, explain what DPI is for us.
DPI is the पैसा कितना निकला सिस्टम में से, और MOIC is paper money, पेपर पे क्या वैल्यू है. So I'm actually, a small town boy from Bihar, so my English is very bad. So I speak Hindi better.
No, we'll be like it.
And so yeah, that is the definition. And so and the winners are Mamaearth, which I invested at 35 crore valuation. We exited last tranche at 15,000 crore after IPO, and I was lucky to be seed investor. And in 2017, and within 6 years we had IPO. This is one of the fastest IPO in India. Like that company was set up in November 2016. They properly started, it's a husband-wife team, Varun alag, Ghazal alag, and they properly started working from January 2017. And we made first call, cold reach out on LinkedIn. I sent email, LinkedIn message. It was April 17, and we wired in July 17. It was the only 3 lakh, 4 lakh rupee revenue when we reached out them first. And within 6 years, we had our full money out. So, but that is we were very lucky there. Other wins are like Invideo, Credgenics, Moengage, those kind of companies. Jiva Silver Jewelry, we invested at 12 crore valuation, and we have not sold anything. And now company, we have the exit offer on table is at 3,500 crore rupee. That company has done 130 crore revenue this Dhanteras month, October. And last year they did 800 crore annually. This year we will be closing at 1,100 crore.
Thank you, Vishesh.
I tried to keep it
No,
short.
I'll come back, no problem. And we should actually thank Raj sir. It's because of him you're in Hyderabad, right?
Yeah, and very thankful to Raj sir, and also thankful to him. He introduced me to Raj sir and Monish, and both have become LP in my fund, and they keep helping me in different kind of strategy support also I look for.
Suddenly making me feel so old. One said, uncle, and we believe that we are investing in young friends, we get more energy from government. No, sir.
No, sir. Monish, no, sir. No, uncle.
No, uncle. Plain Raj.
And Raj is a fantastic name, Shahrukh Khan.
Sure, thank you. Vishesh, I have to ask the same question to you.
Returns, you're going to make me look small with those kind of returns. I'm far from it.
No, but you are doing the toughest work, actually.
Self-reliant India. Depends on you now.
I will just add, I tried doing some deep tech investment and we failed so miserably. We had invested in genetics, that energy optimization company.
What happened?
Just we got, exit happened and we just got our principal back. No.
Well, that's a good outcome. You got your money back. You made it sound like you lost money.
It's very tough, yeah.
Yeah, Vishesh, over to you.
I think we've done okay. Our first fund's grown about 7 times in value. It's still very young. It's a 2019 fund, so we still have time to cover. Second fund's still investing, so we're about 2 times in value there. We're non-linear. It takes time to kick off. You give yourself a good 5-6 years before you see any rocket ship. It takes 5 years to build a rocket. It takes more than 5 years to make money.
Again, my question might sound, it's a bit stupid, but my Agni Cool and Galaxy, what about, how will the exits happen for these companies?
So I think these are national assets. You should take them public.
Right.
For an investor like me, the exits will be secondary along the way if my fund life doesn't allow for it. I think you have to be very pragmatic that some of these companies are safer in public hands than trying to give it to one large conglomerate inside or outside the country.
All right. Over to you.
On the same question. So we're a new entity, right? And our returns obviously are going to take time to come up. So I can't really talk about our exits per se, but what I can talk about is the venture studio model in general. In India, of course, the only one is K. Ganesh's growth story. Of course, they built Big Basket, Blue Nile, Portia, etc. But globally, there's a whole bunch of incredible venture studios that have created incredible companies that you would have heard of the company, you may not have heard of the venture studio. For example, Moderna, right? The company that did the vaccine, the mRNA vaccine for COVID, came out of a venture studio.
Rest 2 are looking for better offers. So, generally we target for 15 months, but center of mass would be 6 months of our fund life, because half of the company has closed in last 6 months. So all the deployment. So we are doing good. So we are able to match that. So 60% company will end up raising up round within 15 months. That is my target, and we will also track record.
When do you exit?
So exit, all the exits we took in Titan, we start selling, first tranche we generally sell 30 to 50% in Series C round. Generally, we are at 50 to 100x multiple in our Series C, because we come as pre-seed. Series C happens at 250 to 350 million dollar valuation, and we enter at 2.5 million to 3.5 million valuation. But in some cases, we are not 100x, we are also at 50x.
100x returns.
Yeah.
All right.
So if it is a winner, then it should be 100x for us. We don't look for 10x. 10x doesn't excite us. So we are happy writing off. We don't few companies where we exited, we made some 4-5x. We don't call it exits, because our investment amount is so small. Even if you invest 3 crore rupee and you do 10x exit in that company, then it is only 30 crore. And if your fund is 200 crore, then it will be not needle moving. So we generally optimize for, like in this fund, we will be taking 40 bets. So at least 8 of them should take us to 50 to 100x, 20% of the company. I'm just trying to be precise, otherwise I go off the track.
All right, no. Also,
I'm just going to go home and not do anything. 100x. Okay. Take my money.
right. Vishesh, when do you know that it's time to kill a startup?
Kill a startup?
Yeah.
He's asking. We get an answer. Yeah, actually, we've been in the business long enough to realize that you have no role in deciding to kill a startup or not. Oftentimes, you're leaning on the founder to build the startup and even decide to pull the plug. I think, given the sectors we invest in, we always believe there's residual value to company, product, team, whatever it is. So we often, at some point when we realize that we're not going to see light at the end of the tunnel, we reconcile to see if we can still make an exit happen.
What are the signals that you look at?
I think the signals is not getting customer traction, missing your product milestones consistently, or the environment changing. Like you think AR, VR is the coolest thing, but you're the only one who thinks AR and VR is the coolest thing. Nobody else seems to care about it, right? So those are the 2-3 situations where you work towards pulling the plug collectively, but always try and see if there's some residual value, right? Because you are investing in core tech, there's something you can do with it.
Thank you. Bipin, you don't give up, right? You kill a startup too?
Sorry?
You let go a startup?
Bipin said anything less than 100x is not an
Not quite, right?
No, actually I didn't understand.
That's my big takeaway today.
Can you repeat the question?
When do you let a startup go? When do you write it down? When you say, oh, fine, it's over, I'm not going to do anything.
So I think I will share you a few examples. That he cut me that time. That company.
Hang on. Once you're done, we will start. The audience will start asking questions. So keep your answer very brief.
2 minutes.
Very toned down.
I am actually maintaining that. I cover all my answer in 2 minutes because my wife also tells me you always go off track. So let me complete. So this company is called Stable Money, who recently raised Series C from Peak XV. They are like fixed deposit marketplace. Their first venture was Truce, TRUCE, which was sabji company. Farm से लेते थे और restaurant को बेचते थे. Very simple, but they're like all our funding amount, half of it got stuck in working capital. Restaurants time पे पैसा नहीं देते हैं. Horeca is like very slow business. It's like very deep credit business, huge NPA. So we got stuck there, and founder started losing interest. But we were very much interested because I grew up in retail shop of my father, where he used to sell fertilizers, insecticides, pesticides. I always had interaction with farmers, so they used to this company used to acquire products from farmers, but founders lost interest within 2 years of running business. Lot of logistics और आधा पैसा अटक जा रहा था market में. So then they told we want to shut it down, and we were like, why? We will put more money. Why you are shutting down? And we asked this question. They were Mumbai based. We are headquartered in Gurgaon. So I made 2-3 travel, and with me, BNext was also investor, and Abhishek Goyal Traction was also investor. We had multiple joint call with founder that we are still excited about this space and you guys, but they were like very I will say frank, genuine and innocent also कि हमसे नहीं हो पा रहा है ये business. We will figure out something else. आपका 30% बचा हुआ है. You take your money, and then eventually we took our money back, and they worked in Swiggy and Navi. And when they left their job, I had my offer for him, like, you decide valuation, we will put our 300K. And he was building some HR tech startup, and which I told, boss, it's very crowded. And eventually they started this fixed deposit marketplace, but our offer was always there for them. After 5 years of doing job, etc., we were still connected, and we were the first pre-seed invested in them, and then Lightspeed and Metrics also joined. So this was one story. Like, it's all about founders. They decide. हम कुछ decide नहीं करते. We are not those investor कि PMF नहीं हुआ तो पैसा वापस कर दो और जाओ. We are not those kind of. In fact, चलो Raj sir is not here. Monish is here. So those 13 companies we wired money. There is one case. where we have invested 3 crore rupee, founder has 1.7 crore rupee in bank, and business model somehow is not working out. And third founder has left. When we told कि ये 1 lakh founder salary सब कम करना पड़ेगा क्योंकि तुम्हारा सीरीज है नेक्स्ट राउंड नहीं हो रहा है, then third founder left कि no, I cannot work at less than 1 lakh rupees salary. So you know समुद्र मंथन हो गया एक तरह से आप देखो तो कि एक फाउंडर निकल गया, and both the founders told Bipin we will put our personal 1 crore rupee, you know, but we want to run this business. So he is running that business and I am with them. Many investors would be there in market. वो बोलेंगे ठीक है तुम लोग का नहीं हो पा रहा है 1.7 करोड़ वापस कर दो. But we are not interested in that 1.7 crore. We are interested कि इसको ये बड़ा कंपनी बनाए क्योंकि the main founder still has that spark in him in which still every call I goes we join that board meeting monthly and we have those confusion and he will have all the answers because he is the guy who is running the show. So we are always there to back them. जिस दिन वो बोलेगा मुझे नहीं करना है तो हम बोलेंगे ठीक है, you can return your money or you can just shut it down. So founder decide that.
All right. We'll hear more examples later. If it's okay. Right? Right.
I think I just want to say, I think we trust you, right? That's why I wired the money, and that's the cost of doing business.
Yeah.
And I think as long as we understand that, I think it's fine. We open to.
We are open.
I just want to add that I think when we put out a poll in our group for the audience to ask questions, we got some amazing responses. We got 20 supremely insightful questions. So I think we should move on to the audience questions and then...
Yeah, we'll start off with Vishesh.
Done.
Yeah, okay. So first, there is Mahesh and Sahas. So they're there. They have questions to Vishesh.
My name is Sahas. I run a strategic brand management firm called Northstar. We're just about a week away from launch. So that's exciting stuff. But nevertheless, my question to you is, how do you see India making brands go global? And what is the great limiter for Indian brands to go global? Is it capital? Is it knowledge? Is it a deep customer understanding? What is the impediment for our brands to go global and compete with the world's best?
So I'm going to actually phone a friend. Bipin, this is more your... This is about brands. I have no clue about it other than the brands I saw today. Do you want to take that? I've just started. That's all I know.
Applies to technology too, by the way.
Can you repeat your question? Your English was so...
His question is, how do you take brands global from India?
Oh, okay. Consumer brands.
Any brand for that matter.
Got it. Very good question. Anything else you want to ask?
No, that's about it.
Okay, so actually, I was in US for the first time in my life. I went to US, and so it was early of this month, and I was in SF. In fact, I saw Waymo cars with LiDAR on it. You know, I was missing Speciale invest. अपने देश में कब होगा? ठीक है. And it is real. In SF, you can see all AI impact. It's happening. It's real. अपने देश में अभी नहीं दिख रहा है. मतलब कि when E-plane and Sarla Aviation will start having air taxi, Bangalore airport to city. ठीक है. So consumer brand. So one of my company, Gully Labs, doing 24% of revenue coming out of India. Okay, so what I have, and Mama Earth also, absolute number it is very high number, but percentage wise is just 2-3% from out of India. And when you talk about consumer brands, I think one way is to target TikTok shop. Like one of our brand called Supply 6 is selling on that, and other is Amazon.com, but one brand is there, Vahdam Tea, where founder had to shift to US, और वो लोग उनके Walmart इन सब के साथ deal close कर चुके हैं. They sell in all the supermarkets there. So it's a very slow GTM. It's not very fast. And you will definitely have to shift yourself or one of your co-founder. You can't have employees there. वो founder का energy अलग होता है, employee का energy अलग होता है. So, and it's easy. It's not, I will not say easy, it's possible. It's possible. It's difficult, but it's possible. And you need to have, one thing is working out very well. We cannot have same answer for all kind of businesses, but I can give you just examples. Like what worked out for Gully Labs, like it's very authentic Indian brand and it's premium sneaker. और अभी इंडिया का समय चल रहा है. Like in US also, in Europe also, like Indians are respected now. Okay, and most of the tech companies you see in US, like Indians are there in their top leadership, top management. So Indians are everywhere. So Indian culture is being respected. People are traveling to India. So people want to wear Indian culture now. So for Gully Labs, that worked out very well. But how we reached out to them? We reached out purely on Instagram.
Actually, if I can just pass it on to Srinivas Garu also, because he's so involved in the workings of a startup or an enterprise. And I just want to ask you, sir, I mean, for any matured economy, having category leaders across different industries is so critical. And yet, India being the vast economy it is today, we don't unfortunately have strong category leaders across multiple industries, let alone going global, even in India, being truly successful brands. So working with enterprises as you do, is capital alone the limiter, or is it something else? Is it having a strategic partner? Is it having the knowledge, the know-how, the systems, the processes? How do you build a brand that thrives, both domestically and internationally?
So I think there's two pieces to that. One is building the company to be global, and the other is to build a brand that is global, and obviously they go hand in hand. One thing I do want to point out, and it's not really been spoken about so far, is just timing. Timing for India itself, again, just 10 years ago was when T-Hub started, Startup India started, Flipkart went IPO a little later. We were a closed economy 35 years ago. We were not thinking about the world. Our founders also hadn't been exposed to global ambition typically. Today, things are changing, right? We have a bunch of people who've gone abroad. When I first came back from England, and I was 18, my nickname, by the way, for those who don't know, is London Srinivas. I never visited London when I was in England. I grew up in England, but London, England was the same thing, right? To most people. That's how limited people's travel used to be. The startup ecosystem is young. Founder maturity is now starting to grow. Our ambition is growing, and India as a market is also growing simultaneously. Capital is suddenly available. India's position in the world is growing. The question of why brands haven't gone global in the past, I don't think is a fair one. I don't think it really matters either. We have a few, right? Zoho has gone global. We have a few. Freshworks has gone global, but not many. I do believe a lot more are going to come in the near future. And I think what all of us on this stage and anyone who's investing is looking to do is to find those people who are ambitious. Going global for the sake of going global isn't necessary. You want to build a company that is solving problems for a specific set of people and then broaden that to as many people as possible. If that happens to be global, amazing. If it happens to be India specific, still amazing, right? I think it's just a mindset shift that has happened now. And I think now you'll start to see a lot of those things come together and global brands show up.
Was I audible? My name is Mahesh Jakodia. Yeah, I had started a company called Beecher. And thank you for the lovely panel discussion, and also Sriram, you made a very fun, light-hearted, non-serious discussion. Yeah. So Vishesh, on the deep tech bit, right, as a GP and as a obligation to the LPs, I think what's your mental model when you want to invest in, when you want to take a bet in the startups with respect to technology as well as the market risk? Or do you have some kind of division in your mind that, okay, this is the kind of proportion bets I would take just in the technology or market, or maybe both, something along those lines?
In the investments we make, so we never call them bets. But and I think today the average investor is smart. We've all gone to either business school or read a course that talks about TAM, size of TAM, this, that, and the other, right? So outside of all of that, a firm like us is essentially looking for, are you building something that's competitively different? and that building something competitively different comes from the founders. And we try and build comfort on will this last 3 to 5 years of competitiveness. And in that 3 to 5 years of journey, will you have other levers to catapult this differentiation? The whole premise of our investments is there are large markets, they're worthy of disruption, like planes or rockets or satellites or drones. These are large, very large markets. The applications to size them is very difficult. It goes back to when you went and asked McKinsey, what is the market for mobile phones? They gave some obscure number. Because when technology hasn't come, you can't size the market. You have a headline view, is this technology going to be large and meaningful in application? Size matters less. What matters more is can you build it? Can you build it over a time frame in a risk-adjusted manner? And that's what we look at and we focus. So it all starts and stops with what domain capability and knowledge do you have that allows you to translate this into a product which can then have a business value out of it. So that's largely the lens we look at. Thank you.
My name is Vinay. I work in-house as a general counsel for a large infrastructure company in the renewable energy space. So yeah, but my question is basically, there's a lot of criticism that Piyush Goyal had kind of levied on the Indian startup ecosystem, right? Saying they're focusing on quick delivery, quick commerce.
Ice cream and biscuits or something.
Yeah, and making delivery boys and delivery girls of everything. So the question is, I'd actually had this question for Bipin, but given that you're in deep tech, I want to understand, do you, having seen more of the space outside of this, do you resonate with that statement? And if you do, what do you kind of see, what's the time frame you see in which this can change? Or what needs to be done for this to change?
So I'll skip the resonating part because I generally don't comment on anything that I don't need to comment on. But we'll have to remember that India is a large consumption economy. Consumption is both products, services, finance. So we can't change that because that's who we are. So you should do sugar-free ice cream for sure. You should do all of these things because that's also rolling the economy. The point is not that you should shift away from consumer to do deep tech. The point is you should also start allocating capital to deep tech because that's nation building. That's competency building, that's resilience building, that's building from India for the world, that's building an export potential, that's building security for yourself. Those are things you shouldn't ignore because this is the only thing you want to do. I think that's the larger sentiment, at least in my head, to say, please do all of this because they make money. There's no reason for you to not make money. Some of these are little more longer gestation businesses, but they'll come back to saving the country when it's needed. And you have to invest in that now than ever before. So as against change, it's about having an allocation to both, and it doesn't have to be equal. Because the consumer markets are large, maybe it'll be unequal, and that's perfectly fine. As long as attention comes towards, in a focused manner, also building this.
Of course, there's also the issue of 100x returns versus...
Yeah, of course. 100x or nothing. I'm going to take that away from myself.
So example, if any of your portfolio company grows by 10x or 20x, right?
Okay, in valuation, 10 to 20x.
On the invested capital, say. So how do you decide whether you'll hold it or sell it?
So we generally don't sell before at yearly 40-50% rate, even after 5 years. And we see there is more juice in the company and on the table, then why we should exit? We generally exit when, when company has already achieved a scale of say $50-60 million kind of revenue and Series C is happening in like 5th year, then we are comfortable exit. Like I will give you one classic example. There is an investment I did at 8 crore valuation called Juke Bag, ZOUK. It's a bag brand. Okay, and it raised last round at 500 crore. So I'm already at 40x. But and we have completed 4 years of investment. So mostly we will exit next year when company will be raising next round at 1200 crore. So which will be around 150x because we invested at 8 crore valuation.
and there is certain dilution also during the journey. So it will land at some, not 150x, but 100x. So it's like that. We don't exit at less than 50x and less than 5 years of holding period, unless and until we see there is something wrong in company and we need to get out of that company. That has also happened in our life.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Srini? Any questions for Bipin?
Yeah.
Please introduce yourself.
I'm Madhu. Am I audible now?
Yes.
Okay. So, very basic question. So, as a founder in US, trying to bring up a company from like very pre-seed stages, have worked with a bunch of VCs. I would like to understand how you have come to this model of being on the ground, working along with the founder, being a part of the team that is building the product and sharing the vision. What made you to choose this path, and what are the advantages or disadvantages over the path that you have chosen? Or for the path that you have chosen over the other paths of the regular VCs and the incubators that they actually support?
Sure. It's really tough, it's really lonely, and even T-Hub was a response to that. The idea was anybody who is an entrepreneur is risking everything to try and make the world a better place in some form. And if I could make that journey easier, that would be a job well done. Building the ecosystem was the initial version, right? So get corporates in, get investors in, get government to be involved, incubators, accelerators, all of those pieces, all helping founders to scale companies. Of course, the T-Hub journey is still ongoing. It's done a decent job. We've got a long way to go still. But personally, for me, it felt very hands-off still. I wanted to go back to helping founders directly. And I was seeing through that journey, many, many entrepreneurs coming to me who seemed amazing with large problems and still not getting to their potential. So I started to look around for models that were out there in the world. Incubators and accelerators have a place, but they're not very successful, truthfully, right? And so I came across the venture studio model about 7 years ago, went to New York, London, spoke to a bunch of these very, very successful studios, and realized that a whole bunch of these, unicorns have come out of these things. I did try my hand on the funding side of things, and the roles that capital plays is really important. But for me, I'm a builder at heart. So personally, that wasn't for me. I wanted to build, hence the venture studio model. The advantage of that over anything else for me is that if a company succeeds or doesn't, it's on me and my team. We get to be much more instrumental in that journey, and that's really satisfying to me. So that's the answer to that question.
All right, guys. Last two questions. Sai, you have a question.
Thanks, Sriram. So, a lot of inspiration.
Please.
My question is to Vishesh. So, Vishesh, deep tech takes time to mature. So, there will be long cycles of R&D. So, during this period, how you will balance your conviction with capital discipline, and what thought process goes behind how do you decide? And also the second question, same for deep tech founders, how you will judge their ability to commercialize the product, because it's a complex tech, it takes some ability. So what do you actually see in the founders? So
Thank you. All of these deep tech companies are longer gestation, they need a lot of capital. And therefore you think of capital in phases. And while it may take 5 years to build a rocket, there are at least 20 interim milestones for you to gauge the process of the company for it to require more capital and justify the need for more capital. And therefore, in all of our companies, you're typically funding them in 18 to 24 month phases. And so in 18 to 24 months, at least there are 18 data points for you to see, were your qualitative milestones on track? Did you spend appropriately, less, more? Of course, there will be delays, you factor all of that in, but you don't want to be in the quadrant where you've done less and spent more, right? So as long as you're not in that zone, we clearly are thinking of ways to support you and progress and go in. On your second question, which is, how do you make an assessment of commercialization? Frankly, at least in deep tech and maybe in consumer, you have repeat founders, but in deep tech, there are no repeat founders because that sector itself is playing out now. So therefore, a good surrogate for commercialization is the ability to reach out to customer and listen. And that's also something we start pushing for in day zero. Not because you have something to sell, because at least you want to know what the buyer wants. So you don't go end up building something that nobody else wants. That's a good surrogate for commercialization. If you have the ability to cold call, reach out, or find a cute way to reach out to your customer and go and talk to them and get that intelligence, that is the path to commercialization for science and tech. Thank you.
All right. Last question, Milan. Please go ahead.
How do you differentiate between, and this is to Vishesh, how do you differentiate between the nation building and the return that you see? Let's say, for example, probably a rocket or something on those lines, where you see that, hey, I think the nation really needs it, but I'm not sure if this will make money for the fund. And what is the metric or discipline that you see to actually disperse that funding? That's probably the question.
So it's very simple. I don't do anything that is not supposed to make money. We only do things that make money. I mean, are supposed to make money, right? So
if it is nation building but not making money, you say no.
If it's nation building and not making money, it's not my business.
How do you decide that? Is there a metric?
There are other people who are supposed to also build the nation. I'm a citizen of the nation. So I will build the nation as a citizen for sure.
Is there like a metric? Like for example, a rocket. I don't know how a rocket makes money. Can you explain?
Oh, it makes a lot of money. Because rockets essentially takes goods to space, and you charge for goods per kg, like you would charge in a truck to take goods from point A to point B. We're also taking point A to point B, except that we're moving against gravity.
So there has to be a path to profitability before the display.
There has to be a path to building a sustainable business of value creation. Otherwise, I have no business to be investing in that company.
Thank you.
I am Milan. I had a quick question for anyone who runs a fund. Basically, just wanted to understand what is the downside to running a structured fund. So a couple of things that I personally have seen is the time to deploy capital is typically in the first couple of years. Otherwise, you start, I guess, maybe I'm assuming the LPs start getting a little pushy saying, when are you going to deploy the capital? So does that come at a stage where you have to maybe take a call saying, okay, this is maybe not 100%, but I'll still go in because I have capital to deploy. If you're not fully convinced yet, but you need to deploy capital. Second is in terms of the time to exit, right? So especially to Vishesh, as a deep tech investor, these things can take a long time. The gestation period can be a lot higher. So with a 10+2 sort of a structure, is that, restricting is what I wanted to understand. And to Bipin, why exit at 100x? Do you not see these things going to 1,000 and potentially 10,000x? So why Series C exit? So these are my questions from a fund structure point of view.
Running a fund is, there's no instant gratification. Typically, the fund construct is that you as a fund manager start making money after returning the full money back. As against doing deals where if you do a deal, you could win in some, you could lose in some. The fund just makes you more responsible at an aggregate level, right? So that's the disadvantage of it. But the biggest advantage is also that you have a pool of capital that you can call upon on your decisions, as against trying to chase capital every time you like something. So, but it's a long-term business. And I think your second question was, how do you manage a strategy with a certain timeline profile? I think the timeline is fixed because that's some market feedback. Like you can't go and tell an investor, give me 20-year money. India's not there yet. It may in 5 to 10 years reach there. But today India is used to locking in money for 10 years. Therefore, then it's the the fund manager's prerogative to figure out when to get in and when to get out. Right?
Disadvantage is my question.
I don't think it's a disadvantage. It's also a good discipline to have. How much time is time then? If you want 15 years, you've got to figure a way out. Companies have to, at some point, think of being sustainable for themselves or start showing signs. I can't be doing R&D for 10 years. Then that's not an investment I should be making. So it's good to have some discipline. 10 is a good place to be. Yeah, you can get to 12, which is what you've seen in other parts of the world. I'll take a stab at also answering the third piece, right? There's a difference between a fund manager and an investor. Like, he could have invested in Mamaearth and sat happily and done nothing about it, which is a choice to make because that's really long-term capital. You're not thinking about and cashing out. But a fund manager's role is to manage the investments, divestments within the life of the fund and return money back to your investor. So from that standpoint, you're going to have some mental model to saying a certain benchmark return is gold standard. Once we get there, we're not going to get too greedy. We'll take money off the table. It's good discipline because you're managing somebody else's money. That's different from managing your own money. I think in that lens, it's always good to have some mental model on when you start taking money out. And it doesn't mean there's lack of conviction. It just means your time is expiring. That's all.
All right. Bipin, brief. Small. Sorry.
Yeah, in consumer is, I think it's relatively easier in a way because if someone is selling products, then and you have to maintain a good moat in market, then revenue generally grow only. And it can be linear. It may not be like exponential like tech business or deep tech business. After it works out, it works out, the success probability is higher. And linear का slope ऊपर नीचे हो सकता है, but linear अच्छा रहेगा, ठीक है? And you can sell like after 4 years, 5 years. Your main question was why you are exiting at 100x and why not wait for 10,000x? 10,000x कुछ नहीं होता है इंडिया में, ठीक है? So 100x भी बहुत अच्छा होता है, but even in Mamaearth we had sold in Series C only 40% of our stake, which was at some 80x, and second exit we took at around 150x, and third exit we took at around 239x, जो हमारा final था. 230, it was not 100, it was 239x. But उतना ही greed होता है. उससे ज़्यादा you can stay there, but we all are fund managers. We have to exit. What happens actually from fund management point of view? Every time you get exit offer, then you don't think like you invested 2 crore at 35 crore valuation. You think that आज उस 2 करोड़ की वैल्यू 150 करोड़ हो गई है, तो यू आर लीविंग 150 करोड़ ऑन टेबल. अपना फंड का साइज ही 100 करोड़ है और 150 करोड़ ऑन टेबल रह कर रहे हो, तो टू मच स्टेक ऑन टेबल, राइट? देन यू विल you need to have next level of guts to leave that much money on table. So obviously if not 100%, you will sell 50%. And if it is like, if overall you are exiting at 150, 200x, that is so much money, yaar. You should just exit and chill.
Thank you.
I don't have that much guts. My औकात is up to 200x. 200x के ऊपर मैं नहीं सोचता.
All right. Guys, we have
but that also has to make up for all the shutdowns also. Like, we invested in our golden era also. Out of 55 companies, 30 shut down. Only 35 survived, out of which 15 exit we took.
Thank you. We'll continue. बाद में. And over to you, Harsha.
Now I would like to invite Mr. Karthik Garu to present shirts to all the panelists.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Now I invite Mr. Dorraj Garu to come onto the stage and please present the gift hamper and memento to Bipin Garu. Sponsor the Delight Sweets to all the members of the event. Thank you. Now I would like to invite Manan Maheshwari Garu, founder of New Escapes, to present the gift and memento to Vishesh Rajaram Garu.
Yeah, we need one.
many of you might have known Cloud Tailor, which is founded by Rudra Pratap Garu, Sushmita Garu and others. So they have recently been featured in the Jio Hotstar Fashion Entrepreneurship Fund. Most of you would have been following it because it is one of the most subscribed event, and from LIO perspective also 26 members have participated in funding in Cloud Tailor. I would like to invite her onto the stage to speak for 2 minutes.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, I am Sushmita, founder of Cloud Tailor. I would like to take this opportunity to thank LIO team who has been very supportive all through the journey of Cloud Tailor and have been investing in our vision of making Cloud Tailor the fashion brand of India, a personalized fashion brand of India. And recently they have put together the largest check in the shortest time frame, which is a very remarkable one. And I would also like to take this opportunity to welcome Sri as the board observer. And today we are opening up for an opportunity for all the LIO members to take up the, anyone interested to take up the franchisee of the Cloud Tailor studio services. And if anyone is interested, they can please get in touch with Monish Garu. And congratulations on your 3rd anniversary. I feel so have a lot of gratitude for all that has the LIO team members have done for Cloud Tailor. Thanks a lot.
Sushmita Garu and her husband Uddha Garu. They're a power couple out of Hyderabad, and even today he was supposed to come to this event, but then he said, I'm not too happy with the expansion in Chennai. We need to open 3 more stores, so please excuse me if I don't come today evening. I would really request a big round of applause because Cloud Tailor has closed the highest fundraise on Indian television, 7.2 crores at a 120 crore valuation, whereas 26 LIO members entered at an average price between 50 and 70 crores. So as a memento of gratitude, I would like to invest some of the investors from LIO who've backed Cloud Tailor. I'd like to call upon Siddharth Namburi, Nikhil Gumidelli, please come onto the dais, and Dr. A.G.K. Garu, please. You're always very, very special to me, sir, because you're the first organic membership that we have closed through LIO. You only saw, your son-in-law recommended to watch my podcast. You just saw the podcast. You transferred 3.5 lakhs. Super grateful for that. And that's a big responsibility you put on my shoulders. So thank you so much for that, sir. Please, I would request all 3 of them. All 3 of them are investors who invested in Cloud Tailor. So I would like them to give you the award in this occasion. Please, sir, please. Please, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Started off with startups and then moved into real estate. Manan, please, the stage is yours.
Everybody, many congratulations to you and your team for achieving 3 years. It's such a remarkable achievement, especially in the era of investment that we are in. It's a crowded space. But I wanted to just take a moment to share with all of you in terms of what my journey has been, along with my best friends and my partners. Earlier I was told that, you're going into a business with your best friends from Speciale. But, there are challenges, but I believe that the trust and the relationships that you have with your best friends can actually pull you through all the highs and the lows that you go across while creating businesses. So we are 3 Speciale alums. We always bonded over problem solving and building certain things. So during Pilani, we had vowed each other that kabhi na kabhi, kuch na kuch karenge, and we'll build certain things together. So after graduating in 2006, I went on to work in the corporate ecosystem in India. Mahesh was still getting degrees, which I can't count, and Varun was actually excelling in tech. We were all based out of Hyderabad. Hyderabad is extremely close to us. I went on to do my MBA post a few years working in India at Duke University. I was working in Citibank in New York, and Mahesh had just graduated from Stanford, and he came to New York and said, "Yaar, let's go back. I mean, we need to go back. We need to build for Bharat." And that actually struck a chord with me because it had been almost, 7-8 years where we had graduated and we wanted to come back to India. So we came back, we sat, Harsha and Nandan from Swiggy are our close friends. So we sat with them in Bangalore, and the one thing that they said was, Manan, Mahesh, if you do not come right now, you'll get so comfortable in the life in the US that you'll never come back. And your dream for building for Bharat will always just remain a dream. So we came back. We built a company by the name of Zaplook, which was an urban company for beauty. We were delivering beauty services at home, 3 men delivering beauty services for women at home. So we took up that challenge, we learned a lot, and in the process what happened was we incorporated this company out of Hyderabad. So our love for Hyderabad, I'll come back to this story a little later, but we incorporated the company out of Hyderabad. We were very nascent in the stage of, raising capital. We were not aware how to raise capital, although we've done our, the pedigree and the global MBAs that we had done, but nobody had taught us that how things work in India. So we raised a little money. We grew this company, Zaplook, almost 30x. Varun Khaitan from Urban Company visited our offices to understand how we were delivering beauty at home. So he learned the business from us. He and his team had visited us. And simultaneously, somebody from Quicker had also visited, where we were operating in Kondapur from a 3 BHK and delivering, several lakhs of revenues from a small startup. We had gone to Old City as well to master the art of, a kit, how it can be basically transported on a two-wheeler as well. So we had optimized the entire processes and we were doing very good business. That is when Varun Khaitan and, Quicker came to our doorstep. We got a very lucrative offer from Quicker at that point. We didn't go with Urban Company, although now on the hindsight, if you see, if we would have gone with that offer, we would have made several, maybe 100x of what we had made earlier from the exit that we got from Quicker. Having said that, the one learning that we had was that as an entrepreneur and as a founder, we can't look to fold your hands very quickly on the first opportunity that you get of an exit. If your investors, if your partners are backing you, it's imperative that you give in your full throttle. So, well, having said that, we got still a decent exit for our investors, our angels, as well as for us. That is when we started reinvesting the money. The one thing that we did was, when the startup ecosystem, our mentors, everybody from whom we could learn were giving to us, we started reinvesting that into several companies like Third Wave or to Pepper Content, where we got a 20x exit, to Razorpay, Urban, Ultra Human, and several other companies that we've invested along with. There is Race Energy as well. I think a couple of LIO members have also invested into that company. So after that, we went on to create our second startup. We got lucky on the first one, so we were unsure how the second one will turn out to be. We built again, as we had promised ourselves, we were building again for Bharat. So we built a platform for vernacular content in the form of GIFs and stickers. These days, everybody is using GIFs and stickers on WhatsApp, right? This was way back in 2016-17, where we created a platform which is a B2B platform for all your chat conversations, where anybody in India, or if you look at tier 2, tier 3 cities, nobody was using or would share maybe Jennifer Aniston or Leonardo DiCaprio GIFs. They would rather share Allu Arjun or GIFs which meant or which mean something to them, right? So we had built that platform. We had raised some capital, almost $1.5 million at that time, and we actually, from 1 million impressions a month, we scaled that business to 1.5 billion impressions a month. However, and it's an important learning for us, for at least for Varun, me and Mahesh, is that we were scaling, we were burning capital through the roof, and this was investors' hard-earned money. One thing that we didn't realize was, how do we generate revenue? From this B2B platform, there were several angles that we evaluated. Our investors always, this is 2016-17, where investors were of the mindset that yaar kar lo, revenue ki chinta baad mein karenge. You scale, we'll figure out revenue. Revenue always happens. So we went with the flow, right? However, in this particular business, we did not have any idea that revenue could not be made very easily. Even if you are making revenue, you will always be a loss-making venture, no matter what you do. So we pivoted. And this pivot was something which we were not very keen on. Our investors pumped in $1.5 million again. Founders अच्छे हैं, pump करते हैं. So they pumped in more capital, not on the idea that we actually were very passionate about. Very clearly and transparently, I'm telling you. So once you back a founder who is not passionate about what they want to do, half of the battle is lost there. Although we put in our as much amount of energy and effort in building this idea, which was delivering video wishes to consumers from celebrities. First time in India, disrupted the entire market. We scaled the business. This was peak of COVID. Everybody wanted, if they wanted anything in gifting space, everybody was coming to our platform called Wish. However, how many times, this is like, you can, this is not a repeat business. You will always maybe order once or twice, but you know, the value of that wish from celebrities would be lost because how many favorite celebrities does a person has, right? So we pivoted again because we knew we were not generating as much revenue as we would like. So we pivoted again. This time, we disrupted another segment, which was tier 2 celebrities getting brand endorsements from brands which are tier 2. We disrupted why do only A-grade celebrities could basically get brand endorsement deals from bigger brands. So we disrupted that market where, you would just have three months of exclusivity, smaller ticket size, everybody was happy. With respect to B-grade celebrities, I mean TV celebrities. They were making money, brands were happy that they were getting endorsements from well-known, celebrities in the Indian market. Later on, we realized we are tech co-founders. We do not know anything about this business. It was getting very, very murky. So we basically told our investors this is not something that we are passionate about, and we returned almost $1.5 million back to the investors in 2019. So this is something that the investors really appreciated, that if the founders are not keen, we basically pump the money back. So in the midst of all of these activities, we were at the cusp of AI revolution. And Varun, me and Mahesh, we were thinking what to do next. It was a very interesting moment for us because should we go on to build something in AI or what do we do? If you go into the middle of the city in Bangalore, you would not need e-taxis per se. Airport is 15 minutes away from our project. We share a boundary with Brigade Orchard. So if any one of you is traveling, I would be more than happy to grace each and every member of the LIO community to have lunch or tea with us at Niva Earthscape and be part of the Niva family as well. A few things which struck chord with me while in the conversation, which is extremely important for me to highlight is, Monish Garu, the panel here mentioned about, the trust, the transparency, and of course, longevity. That is how our DNA at Niva is also built. We are very, very sure and very, very positive with respect to the outlook of our community at Niva. We are not going to, something that in real estate, and I know there are a few people from real estate here, who may differ from my point of view. But I think in real estate, the most important thing is cash flow management. Everything else can be managed. But if you do not manage your cash flow properly, it can be brutal. And this is what we learned even in our startups. That is what we are bringing in. We are not going to launch another project till the time we are completed 70% sales in our current project. So we are going to build this, wait, and then move on to our other project. We are almost 42, 43 in our age, so we are not going to, venture into something else. But this is going to be our, our main focus. We also have a solar company, so any one of you, if you are looking to basically, put up a solar plant on your rooftops, please approach us. Manish Garu is also an investor in that company as well. So you'll get better costs than most of the folks here in Hyderabad. So please approach us for that. You also have LIO discount at Neva. So let me know if anyone of you are interested or coming to North Bangalore, please visit us. We are 15 minutes away. Thank you, Manish Garu, for giving us this opportunity.
Thank you so much, Manan Garu. And I think what I'm trying to say here is it took us a long time to get here. But what we've built today is, it's just not about startups, it's about VCs, it's about hedge funds, it's about special opportunities, it's about unlocking the value of the community and getting everyone to share a piece of the pie. That way we synergize together. Thank you so much, Manan Garu, for sharing all the information, and really appreciate it. Thank you for sharing your journey as well. Now, I think a lot of people, while I was sitting here, while we were conducting the event, wanted me to speak about this, and they've been requesting me to bring this one person up. Praveen, come. So a lot of people were texting me while this event was happening, please ask Praveen to come up and speak. So I'm just gonna let him get onto the dais and speak a little bit about Big Bang Boom Solutions. So Praveen is the CEO of Big Bang Boom Solutions, and he just gave me a go-ahead to announce the $500 million valuation. So I'm just giving it over to you. I have been calling people, telling people to invest in Big Bang Boom Solutions since February of 2022, and I only got the opportunity thanks to Milan. So that is the power of community, guys. That is why we're all here today. So over to you, boss.
Thanks, Manish. I asked you to announce Big Bang Boom. I never told you to tell the valuation there. Anyways, I know I'm literally the only obstacle between you and dinner, and so I'll keep this extremely short. Big Bang Boom has been a crazy journey. So from when we started, clearly we were in the deep tech space. Deep tech space was supposed to have long gestation periods. At that point of time when we started in 2018, all the VCs were talking about investing in deep tech. Nobody would touch deep tech with a 10-foot barge pole. Okay, so we effectively had to build our own systems towards raising funding. So the way we looked at it was, look, somebody is investing in a VC. So you have LPs who invest into a VC. So why go to VCs? We'll go to the LPs themselves and pick up money directly. So in Big Bang Boom, we have about 195 people who are directly invested in Big Bang Boom. And when you actually look at the different pools of capital that are there, you have about 500, 600 people who have actually come and effectively invested directly into the company. And the journey has been absolutely terrific. Like when we were talking about Mama Earth investments or other investments which have given 100, 200x, we have sitting amongst us Milan. Milan wrote us a check right bang at the beginning. He wrote a very sizable check. He put in 5 crores. And if Milan has not done 100, 150x over here, I don't know who has made money, right? So I'm saying there are ways of making money in different places. Not everywhere are you going to make 100x. It's not a magic bullet in any situation. We've done this entire journey by looking at what is the next obstacle in front of me. So if the next obstacle in front of me is that a VC is not funding me, then let me build a mini VC structure within my own company. If my next obstacle is that I don't know when R&D will come out, I will look at grants as a way of finding out where my next monetization cycle is going to come in from. So it's been a crazy journey. We've been a extremely different company in the defense space when it's come down to where in our journey. In the last 7 years, we've managed to win about 10 grants from the Indian government, the Israeli government, now the Canadian government. We now supply to multiple countries. And if one of the questions that was asked in the panel is, why are Indian brands not effectively able to go out? One of the most fundamental problems that you have in India is you can't take money out. So let us say you have money, you're a rich person and you want to take money out of India. Even for you to take more than $250,000, you literally have to strip naked in front of RBI. So if you have a company and you want to take money out, it's still very difficult. So in our constitution, we are a socialist country and we are proud of it. So if you're a socialist country, that will come with some level of baggage. But in Big Bang Boom, the way we are looking at it is, if you want to be a truly global company, like if you're not after that $1 billion valuation, if you're trying to become a company which is say 10, 20, 50, $100 billion, you will have to tap the global market. And not always can you look at that limitation of RBI not letting you take money out. So now we are actually looking at a way where we are saying that, why should we look at selling our brand abroad? Why can't we just build defense ecosystems abroad? So we've built an ecosystem in India. So it's not just about money or clients or partners or suppliers. It's an entire ecosystem. You actually involve academia in it to get your research out. So if we could do this in India, why not pick it up, plug it in a few other countries and actually get your brand going over there? So that effectively will be our next growth leg going forward. Beyond this, we can break for dinner. Yeah? Thanks.
Thank you all for coming here. Each one of you here means a lot to me, especially more because you've stayed on till the very, very end. It's my promise that next time we'll cut the events by about 45 minutes and plan for extremities. But really appreciate each one of you for joining the LIO family. And thanks to Srini Garu, thanks to Bipin, thanks to Vishesh. I think they're just handling some calls. They're going to start networking outside very shortly. Thank you so much for all the gifting sponsors. I think we've curated the gift bag very, very carefully for today. I advise all of you to pick up the gift bag when you leave today. It has one item from each one of our members. So they've sent us something or the other promoting their own brands, and that is what I want to do going forward. This is the power of the community. Let us unleash it. And again, Satya Raghu Garu, thank you so much for coming. And the Vinayak Chaviti leaves that we get for the puja every year is sent over by Satya Raghu Garu through LIO. So thank you so much for that again. And thank you so much, guys. Just from the bottom of my heart, Charan is here. Charan is one of the people, he just entered into the room, but he's been a big force in guiding me as to how to build an ecosystem and how to build a business ecosystem. He himself runs India's largest student community with 6.5 lakh students. That is Student Tribe. And he's given me the opportunity to invest in that as well. So all I'm trying to say is what you see today in MyCap Investments, which is our family office, all the investments that I've made there have happened because of the network of LIO. And I am benefiting the most out of them. I want each one of you in the room to benefit in them like me. I'm sitting on maybe a 40, 50, 60% IRR in many of the companies that we've invested in. We've done 28 investments so far. We've already taken 5 exits. We've taken 2 partial successful exits. And I'm very, very excited to know more about the journey going forward. And I'm looking forward to knowing each one of you on a more deeper level. So let's break for dinner, guys. Thank you so much. Kiran, Abhishek, Vijay, Raghu, and Siddharth. Without them, the event would not have happened. One last thing, Tej Garu, he's one of our newer members, and actually Madhu Garu took a membership, and then I had the opportunity to meet Tej Garu. So everyone, please give your feedback on the Enlight drink as well. It's a prebiotic drink that they're launching very soon. We're getting a taste of it there. It's right over there. So the founders are right there. If you can raise your hands, perfect. So please give him some feedback. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you again. Thanks.